안녕하세요. 감독 저스틴 천입니다. Four favorite movies. I really thought Oppenheimer was quite fantastic. I really think Chris Nolan is a master at keeping your attention. He always plays with time, and he always uses multiple timelines to just keep an open-ended question continuing to go, so it pulls the audience along. So even if for something like Oppenheimer, which is such a court-driven film, I think in lesser hands, it'd be quite boring. But for someone like Chris Nolan, it's quite engaging because he is constantly challenging you and keeping you engaged by asking the question in different ways, and there's different timelines. So he essentially made a courtroom drama feel like an action film. Barbie. I have a daughter, and she really enjoyed it, and I think it's a really great movie for girls to watch. And I also think it respects its audience. And my friend David Matheny and I, we do this thing where we watch films together every week. We choose some films, and something that was exciting is we watch Playtime. We would watch Jack Tati's Playtime, and when watching Barbie, even in the office space, you could tell right away that she was inspired by Playtime. So as soon as the movie ended, I had called my friend David and said, hey, she had to be inspired by Playtime, and we just watched it. So that was really exciting, and makes me really respect someone like Greta, because she manages to infuse Playtime with all that jazz, with all these different films that inspire her into a film as off the wall as Barbie, about a doll, that comes to the real world. I think that's quite ingenious. I recently watched Triangle Sadness. I was meaning to watch that film much earlier. I don't know why it took me so long to watch it, but I thought that film was incredible. I think Östlund is just getting better, and I'm really excited to see what he does in the future, because he's such a wonderful filmmaker, and I think he has such a distinct style of making you uncomfortable with everyday situations. And Triangle of Sadness was such a beautiful metaphor for our current state in the world, and class, and sometimes class by race, and it was really engaging, and I thought it was really funny. His films are incredibly entertaining and funny. Charlie Chaplin films, and I think The Great Dictator is incredible. I think we forget how that's why people still talk about him and watch his films now. But we did a string of Charlie, and we watched Great Dictator, Modern Times, City of Lights. I think he was such a master. Great Dictator, what was so amazing about it was he came from the silent era, and then finally you have this film where he's actually talking, and he has that incredible monologue that we all know. It's so famous, and I think you also see him as a performer and understand that he is such an incredible artist, that he can, that film is so old now, but even now in 2023, that it's so impactful. I thought I really enjoyed it, and I hope more people go back and watch some of his films. And that's what's interesting between him and Buster Keaton, I thought, was they have such different styles. But Charlie Chaplin is also, like Chris Nolan, just has a way of keeping you so incredibly engaged and entertained, even if he's doing something as serious as something about World War II. Yeah. Jamujaya is a Indonesian folktale about a prince who becomes a tree and a bird who is looking for his brother. Yeah, it's an Indonesian folktale. I don't know. I just wanted to make a story about Indonesian father and son. Brian, I had seen in a music video that he had done called Dat Stick, and It's almost like a comedy video. I have a friend named Chon who owns a management firm called 88 Rising, and Chon, once he signed Brian, had asked me if I wanted to do a film with him. So we had talked about it for a few years, and then through the years I had spent some time with Brian in the recording studio, and ultimately I settled on telling a father and son story. I think in Asian culture, father and son stories are very rare. I think I wanted to tell something that I felt was compelling, you know, between a father and son, and I thought that Brian's personal story with his father was quite compelling, even though his real relationship with his father, is completely different from the movie. He has a really great relationship with his father, but I really loved how close Brian was with his father, and how reverential he was to the way he spoke about his father. Yes, so the story Jamujaya is about a banyan tree, and in the United States there's only two places that banyan trees grow. It's Florida and Hawaii, and there's plenty of banyan trees in Indonesia, and I felt like there's this idea that James's father in the film tells this folktale about the banyan tree and the bird who looks for the banyan tree, and I feel as though through the film we're really exploring who's the bird and who's the tree. Is it Joyo is the bird, or Joyo is a tree, or Brian is a bird, or Brian is a tree? And I think that question lingers throughout the entire film. Yeah, you know, the truth of the matter is this screening is the last time anyone's going to be able to see this film in this state, because I'm re-editing the film. And to be frank, in the new version that I'm editing, there's not gonna be much music in the film. So, and the main reason for that is, I think what I want to focus on is their relationship, and I think because Brian is an artist in real life, there's this expectation that it's a music film, and it never was, even from the beginning. I think his life parallels the film, and he is a rapper in the film, but it's just window dressing. It's not really that substantial. I think what really is going on in the film is they're dealing with trauma, they're dealing with grief. And that's really what the film is about, is grief. I'm incredibly grateful for the Korean audiences that have seen my work. I don't know how many people have, but for those who have, I'm very thankful that you have interest in what I do as a Korean American, and you know, check out one of my films someday. Maybe a good one to start with is Blue Bayou or Gook. But I'm very thankful to be in Korea and be able to showcase my work. Thank you.